Yeah, welcome and thanks for joining this MTAI session. I'm sort of conscious, as we all are, that when you have a big group like this, there'll be mixtures of some people who are really familiar with mindfulness, and then others you might be coming here for the first time, just seeing what it's like. So for those of you who are newer, or even if you're more familiar, just remembering the simplicity of this. This is a little structure that I like. And just remembering really that what we're doing when we're practicing is we're working with attention. We can always choose what we're going to pay attention to. And for me, the kind of home base, the first thing that I sort of land into is often my body. Sort of forget the body in regular life. I'm living in my head, and then I remember that there's this body sitting here. And so that's the kind of home base for me. And then when I notice the body, very often there will be, recognize some tension here and there, all the stuff that we carry around. And you don't have to do very much, but it can be quite a natural thing. If you find that there's some tension, it might soften a little. That's the first kind of remember the body. And then with mindfulness, it's just this present moment awareness of what's here. What do I hear outside? Do I see? And then also all these kind of stuff that's happening inside, sensations in the body and my mood and my breathing. There's lots happening in the present moment. And sometimes, especially in the beginning, it can be sort of confusing. So that's why we have what we call an anchor. It's one thing that we can sort of pay a little bit more attention to, or just kind of give us a little bit of stability. So that there's loads of different options here. I might suggest breathing. That's something we can always pay attention to for a moment. Or you might not like breathing. You might prefer to pay attention to sounds that are coming and going. You can do that. Or you could bring your awareness down into your feet and notice sensations in your feet. It's really flexible. You don't have to follow the guidance ever. But you might have some anchor that you can stay with. Maybe sustain attention a little. And then the thing that will happen that we're all really familiar with is that's fine, a few moments, interesting, and then the mind drifts, does its own thing, and it's perhaps thinking about the future again, planning all these to-do lists that we have, or it's reliving something, or something really creative, maybe anything. And then so that the key piece is this moment of remembering. So the etymology of mindfulness in the Pali word is remembering. So you sort of have a moment of, oh yeah, forgot about the body or my breath or whatever it is. And I have this moment of remembering, and then it's really natural. Doesn't need to be quick. That's why there's a smile there to remind you not to be harsh. And you can, because you're aware, you can choose, maybe land back in the body. And then it can be curious again, what's happened in the body in that little intervening period. Maybe tension has crept in again, and we can allow it to soften perhaps. And then we're present and we're aware of what's going on, and maybe there's an anchor, and that just process keeps happening, and it's all part of it. So remembering, coming back. So that's 5-minute brief bit of structure, which might be helpful or it mightn't. So if you don't like it, you can let it go altogether. But for me, it's helpful to know that that's what's going on. So maybe inviting you now to sit, or even you could lie down. You can be kind of flexible here, depending on what you need. If it's a day where you're a bit restless, or maybe a bit anxious, maybe it's really kind to lie down. Or if you really want to kind of emphasize being awake and alert, maybe a kind of straight back, finding a little balance between those two things, relaxed and alert. So settling in, and maybe the first thing we might do is just consciously pause together. So even when we're physically still, very often the mind is somewhere else, rushing to the next moment. So we can just invite that pause. What do you notice when you pause? For me, I notice much more detail about the present moment. There might be sounds here that you're just recognizing for the first time. All these different sounds coming and going. From outside or from in your room. As we slow down, we start to notice more usually. And you might notice other things as well. Maybe getting a sense of how you're feeling, sort of mood that might be here. It's not always something we want either. Might be calm, or you might notice a little undercurrent of restlessness sometimes. This is like noticing the inner weather. Again, without any effort needed, maybe you notice other things about the body. Different sensations that are coming along. You might notice the state of mind. Are there lots of thoughts happening? Am I doing this practice right? What's next? What happened before? All these things. This is just opening to what's here in this moment. And when we practice, we have this ability to choose. We can choose what we're going to pay attention to. So I'll give some guidance, and you can know that you can always go your own way. Sometimes it mightn't be helpful for you, so don't have to follow. If you would like to, you could bring your awareness down into the points of contact between the body and the floor, the chair or the bed. And just perhaps stay with that for a few moments, see what you notice. Be a sense of pressure, support, can sort of allow the body to give its weight a little. Maybe you feel something, or maybe you don't feel very much. You can always wiggle your toes if you need to, just to remind yourself that your feet are here on the floor. This is something we can be in contact with. We can always come back to it during the practice if it's helpful. This sense of contact, knowing we're sitting. And then inviting you, might be happening already, but just opening to the rest of the body. And you can have that curiosity, that beginner's mind, sort of receptive, listening mode. What do you notice here in the body? And one of the first things I always notice is my attention is drawn to discomfort sometimes, or the tension I hold. It might be really helpful to notice, oh, the jaw is tight, or there's tension around my eyes. You don't need to do anything, just awareness, and there might be the possibility of softening a little. Not needing to rush or not needing to force anything. Maybe other areas of the body as well you might notice holding. Maybe the shoulders, really common. It's like you can allow gravity to help you, and you might drop a little if they need to. Maybe tension around the abdomen. It's really common too. When we're worried, when we're anxious, there can be a knot in our stomach. And so here it can be nice just to maybe notice the movements that are happening. You could put your hand on your abdomen if you like. Something else to be aware of, this rising and falling. Not needing to embellish anything. But maybe with the out breath, there might be a little softening. Just aware of the body, just knowing that you're sitting, and it's just a little bit of time and space for the body to settle. And you can see for yourself if this is true. Sometimes when the body settles, the mind follows. It's not something to be forced, just some patience, some kindness. Maybe an invitation from here to gather attention and noticing breathing. And only if you like, you can go your own way, you can listen to sounds, you can stay with that sense of contact between the body and the floor. If it's helpful, the breath. Maybe this is the first fully conscious breath of the day. You don't need to make a lot of effort. Thich Nhat Hanh says, enjoy breathing. And there could be some curiosity as well, just noticing where in the body you feel the breath. Maybe you feel it in the nostrils, temperature. Or maybe movement in the abdomen, the chest. And this is just something to pay attention to, explore this breath. Maybe noticing what the in-breath feels like. What does the in-breath feel like? You might notice cool air, or sometimes there's a feeling of being awake, alert with the in-breath. remembering the body. And then there's the out breath. What is that like? And again, not embellishing anything or forcing anything, just as it is. Is it warmer? Sometimes there might be kind of settling or calm. And then there might be a little lull and the next in-breath happens. So that's all we're doing, maybe just surfing the waves of breath. And it's good to know that we don't need to waste lots of energy blocking other things out. Just whatever else comes along, we can welcome as best we can. The sound we notice, or the sensation, or the moment that our mood changes, might be that edge of impatience that sometimes comes along. Everything that's here is welcome. And just in the midst of it, it's this body, we can feel ourselves sitting. And this breath, just enjoying this breath. Alert, calm. Curious also about all the times that the mind wanders. Probably happened a lot already. Is there frustration and annoyance? Or is there sort of friendliness? Oh, well done, I've remembered. And now I can choose. Always come back when there's space. Body. Noticing if tension has crept in. And then forgetting what's gone before or what's going to happen, just this breath. Or maybe it's right now, sounds are predominant and we can notice sounds. Always having choice. Maybe again, just an invitation to shift the focus a little and be bringing awareness down into your feet again. What do you notice when you do that? Might be some sensation here that you discover. Noticing that contact again. And then very slowly allowing awareness to travel up through the legs. What do you notice? Receptive, listening to the body. Maybe feeling the backs of your legs in contact with the chair. Just subtle sensations here. And then your bum on the chair, that sense of support. Earth underneath. And then the trunk. What do you notice in the trunk? Just seeing for yourself. Maybe you can feel back in contact with something. Maybe you can sense movement happening as you breathe. Sometimes noticing tension. And then there's the arms, your hands resting somewhere. That sense of touch, support, heaviness maybe. Just allowing yourself to discover hands. The arms and the shoulders. And then the neck. Slowly come into the face. And you can always choose when you bring awareness to the face. What do you notice? What's the expression? Little changes you might observe happening moment by moment. Sometimes bringing a little bit of softness to the face, the eyes, the mouth. And you can sometimes feel that through the whole body. A warmth, friendliness. And then just for the last few moments, without any big effort, just resting here, aware of the whole body. Don't need to change anything or do anything, just aware. Whole body, moment by moment. Sensations and movement, breathing. And we can just rest here. And it might be that really in a nice place right now. You can sit and stay, you can turn the sound off. But if you feel like coming to an end, it could be a real gradual aware of sounds. Maybe a deeper breath, a little bit of movement. Feels nice. Or a sigh. If the eyes were closed, they might open, and you could just look around this room, this familiar place. Little details here, colors and objects. Maybe not having to forget about the body as well. Even during the day now, occasionally remembering, just coming back